My boss is telling me that calling out because of the weather isn't an acceptable reason. I live in Oregon and I'm a direct support professional. I also live 45 minutes away from my workplace and the snow is creating a dangerous trip. My boss suggested to take public transport if necessary. Just don't call out. And spend the night here if you have to. What are my rights in this situation? I'm in Oregon too. Salem. Depending the area you're in. Public transportation has been canceled. This freezing rain, snowfall has been known to occur for at least a week. Your boss, I'm assuming your house manager, should have planned ahead. We had a major snowstorm one year, and I lived at a pretty high elevation. So we got hammered while the rest of the lower elevations just got a couple inches. My boss is yelling at me to come in. I sent him pictures of my car in the snow and told him he should come and get me. I got the day off. Public transportation. You waited and waited but it never came. Possibly due to the unreasonable weather. Sorry, boss. I had an employer try to compel me to come into the office after calling in over the weather. Everything was covered in ice and travel was not advised. She still insisted I come in. I told her fine. If I come in I am telling my spouse if I get seriously injured or killed on the way to work he is to sue the company for everything he can for forcing me to come in against my better judgment. I suddenly got the day off. You don't have any rights to your job, if that's what you're asking. His only leverage is your job though. You have the right to ignore him. And see who blinks first if you are difficult to replace. He will let it slide. But don't forget what he said. He's an unreasonable asshole and you should be looking to quit. I think. I also live in Oregon and I am not leaving my house in this weather. Tell your boss you tried and spun out on ice and almost had an accident. So you will be staying home. If he wants to argue, tell him he can do it face to face. If it is illegal to drive due to local ordinance. Hey, boss. Just sending this email confirming that you are requiring me to attend work during an emergency. If I am fined while driving my own vehicle, will the company be reimbursing me that cost? If I am injured on the way to work while on public transportation or on foot from the stop to the office, will the company cover my medical expenses? And have the walkways, parking lot, and entrances all been cleared of snow and ice for safe travels? Please let me know how the company will be supporting me when acting against local law enforcement's rules. It's cheaper to miss a day's worth of pay than to total your car and have the hassle of fighting with insurance. Here's the thing. You don't owe your boss a reason for calling out. Either you have a reasonable boss that understands people aren't always able to make it in, or you don't. If it's the first kind, they won't really care why you can't make it. If the second kind, they rarely accept any reason no matter how valid. So offer none. I'm calling to let you know I won't be in today. End of discussion. Make this the norm. This is why competent managers offer extra pay, compensatory time for volunteers to stay at the workplace. It will still be a skeleton crew, but someone will volunteer. As a direct care worker a few years ago, my friends and I traveled slowly on a typically busy highway for hours because people who lived closer to the facility couldn't get out of their driveways. We saw so many overturned vehicles that had been sitting there for days. We got a lot of thank yous. And I think maybe $200 extra. Which was nice, I guess. And lost electricity, water multiple times during the 3 days we were there. Never again will I risk my life for a job. Tell him you have anal glaucoma. You just can't see your ass coming into work today. I live where there are periodic hurricanes. Tell your boss this. There is a thing called reckless endangerment. Turns out, if a company, owner, boss, whoever tries to make you come to work under conditions that could be considered not safe, such as driving when there's an active hurricane or major snowstorm, but the hotels insist the cooks and maids etc. must come in to tend to existing customers or risk losing their job, be punished in any way, then that organization is guilty of reckless endangerment, because they cannot ask employees to put themselves in danger as a condition of employment. Yeah, ask him to run that phrase by company lawyers. Lol. Public transport for a 45-minute commute? Does that even exist in the USA? I don't do snow or ice. I would tell my boss to pound sand. That no job, not even his, is worth a vehicle accident with me in it. Question. Does spending the night come with additional pay? Or do they just expect you to forego your life for the sake of their business? Are they paying you to put that kind of effort in? I was direct support for 11 years for NYS. The most thankless, hostile, toxic workplace. They treat the staff horribly. Weather was not a reason for call out for my agency, also citing essential workers. Staffing levels in healthcare are deplorable. Profit before people. Boss. Bad weather such as this is an absolutely legitimate reason to avoid travel. And I'm not putting my well-being at risk for the princely sum of $15 per hour. Hello fellow Oregonian. Amazon told drivers not to head out today and they're giving partial day payment. You know what that means? Amazon is being more reasonable than your workplace. Grimace. Few inches of ice pellets down here in Albany, Corvallis. Don't go. Better than dying. I'm currently stressing over a similar situation. And I'm supposed to work tonight. The low is 2F. And the base of my driveway has about 2 feet of snow packed onto it. I've been going out for 10 minutes at a time all day. And have barely made a dent. They haven't plowed our road at all. Anyone driving by is slipping and sliding. On a good day it takes me 20 minutes to get to work. Hilly back road. I am not used to snow, so I'm terrified to drive. But I know my boss is going to give me attitude. I drove in this. Also, I just got my car stuck in the driveway while trying to see if it would move at all. I worked in an adolescent psych ward half a decade ago and lived out of town. I worked second shift. When the weather was trash, they would pay for a hotel for out-of-town employees. I had to take them up on the offer once during a blizzard and I was so grateful. That's how all places should be. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.